Hi, this is Coach Shaun in your corner. Just another talk today. Just something that's been on my heart and life-changing for me. A lesson that I've learned over the years, applied, probably still growing in applying it to its full measure. We touched on it last week in our talk together, which is we were talking about maturity, which is a balance of courage and consideration. And I kind of feel like I wanted to highlight consideration again because it is that important. Consideration to me is not weakness, but wisdom wrapped in kindness. It's strength under control, or passion under control. Consideration is that one element that makes a leader outstanding, makes people outstanding and influential. Stephen Covey said this: when you show deep empathy towards others, their defense energy goes down and positive energy replaces it. When we are considerate of others, we kind of allow the defenses to come down because we are now, in a sense, presenting ourselves with deep, empathetic understanding and listening. We're prepared to listen, we're prepared to understand, we're prepared to empathize with their journey, with where they're coming from, with what is important to them, with their perspective, with their experiences. And therefore, the reciprocation of that is they're prepared to listen to us. If we apply more consideration in our relationship with our spouse, with friends, with those that work for us or work with us, more consideration for our teenagers, I think it'll go a long way to reciprocating the relationship so that you stay connected. Courage pushes forward, but consideration is what's building the relationship, building the connection to a deeper level. So I love what Stephen Covey says: you show deep empathy towards others, their defensive energy goes down and positive energy replaces it. Basically, because now an environment is created for that deep connection, for deep communication. Because if you're prepared to understand me and consider me, if you're prepared to hear me and listen to me, then I'm prepared to hear and listen to you. That's just the principle of relationship. That's how it works. What really changed me in this was one day I was looking at the story that Jesus told, and he was telling about a shepherd that lost one sheep. He had 100 sheep and he lost one, and he leaves the 99 to find the one, and then rejoices when he finds the one, sets that one right, restores it and makes it better and brings it back and makes it part of the whole again. And I pondered that for a long time, and I thought, I was a pastor, and many moons ago, and typical in the whole process of growing, I was told as a young leader, listen, if you're not growing in numbers and not growing in finance, you are not growing, you're not successful. So it became a challenge to always push for the crowd, to push for more and to push for more, to grow more, etc., etc. Until the day came when suddenly I was the one. The one wasn't important to me, really. It's always been part of being important, but you understand is that in the process of growing and growing this ministry, and growing my leadership, the one, if that one lag behind, it wasn't important. I'm working with the crowd here. But that story changed everything for me. Especially when I became the one. When I became the one became significant. Consideration became a value to me, because I realized nobody was considerate of what I was going through. Well, I don't want to say nobody, but very few were considerate of what I was going through. Very few were considerate of the environment I found in myself in. They judged the book by its cover. They judged what they saw, what they felt should be, how I should respond or what I should be doing. And when I'm not doing it, you cut off. And so consideration doesn't seek compliance. It looks for influence. It looks to influence. It seeks that influence. Influence is desiring and working and presenting yourself to draw somebody to a place of where they can connect, where they can come back into a relationship again, or at least achieve their potential in that relationship. So that's influence. Compliance is, I demand that you meet a certain standard, a certain expectation, a certain obligation that suits me. And that doesn't work. People rebel against that. They will nod their head, but they won't comply. Or they will comply for a certain period of time and then walk away. So, in that place that I found myself in, I realized how important the one is. The one, or the individual, the person, the journey, the experiences, is never important to anybody until they need to be or to have consideration. And so as a coach, I kind of entered the arena with looking at the field and saying, every player to me, I'm considerate of their situation. When I've got students playing rugby, you understand, is they haven't joined, it's not like a football program. They've joined the rugby club of the school, of the college, they come to the college to study. They come to the rugby as part of their curriculum, as part of their agenda. They want to do something, they want to learn something new, they want to be part of something. I'm big on creating a team. I push for that whole concept, is that they become a team, simply because I want them to take away life lessons that they can apply in their world, in their life. And that means, as a coach, I have to be considerate of them. I have to be considerate of their level of proficiency in playing rugby, their level of skill, their level of rugby intelligence. I have to be considerate of their study program. I have to be considerate of their their schedule. I can't be on the field demanding if I know that they have to be at workshops, at classes, etc., etc. And that's just, I'm not a international coach of a national team that plays international rugby. That would be nice, and your consideration is different then. But in this case, I have to be considerate of each individual. I study each individual. And I did the same for my children. I did the same. Each one, to be considerate of where they are, what's important to them, how they view their future. I'm not going to be forcing them to kind of meet some kind of compliance to the expectation and the idea that I have for them. They're a one in this case. And sometimes you've got to leave what you think is the main crowd and reach out to the one by consideration, by considering them, by having empathy with who they are, what they value, what their perspectives are, listening to them, understanding them, because you cannot do anything if you cannot influence them if you aren't doing that. Influence is not domination, manipulation, control. That's not influence. That's demanding compliance. You want a certain outcome, but we've got to be more considerate of where people are, what they've been through, what they value, what they see at that point in time, reaching for the one to bring them into being part of the whole. And the wholeness to me is like a team. Consider the one so that they feel part of the team. Consider it of the one to feel part of the family. Consider it of one to feel part of the relationship. I cannot begin to tell you over the years how many people have made me feel like and made it clear they don't consider me to be part of a relationship. Well, that's fine by me. If they don't want to have a relationship, that's fine. I don't stress about that. But they've made it clear, and so they make it clear by being inconsiderate. Yet they expect, or they have a demand, that you comply in some way as if there is a relationship. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but I just think it's an imbalance to only have courage to push for compliance to what you want, which is, you've got to have courage, but then to demand others comply without consideration of where they are at that point in time. So that's the thought that I wanted to leave with you. I think I really want to communicate that and consideration. We'll just have a better world if we are more considerate of each other, more considerate in our relationships. Think of, your spouse could be the one. Are you prepared to leave all your agenda, all your, schedule, all your busyness, all everything that you have going on to say, hang on, wait a minute, let me listen. Where are you coming from? Where are they coming from? Why are they thinking that way? Why are they not listening to me? Maybe because I'm not listening to them. Take time to sit down with your spouse and say, I want to understand. I want to understand where you're coming from. I want to understand what you're going through. I want to understand what's holding you back. I want to understand. Please, I'm listening. And, that could be a process of time. It's not just a one-off thing. Let me tell you something. It can make a huge, huge difference in your relationship, in your team, in your life, in the world. All right, so this is Coach Shaun, just sharing my heart with you at this time. Thanks for hanging with me.